Hey, hello, and welcome all my dear third standard little champs. This is Rohan sir from Mahdi English Medium School. Students, welcome once again in the science lecture. I hope that in the previous live lectures and the pre-recorded lectures, I hope you have participated properly, right? In all the live lectures, I have been trying my level best to make you draw the diagrams related to the topics, related to the knowledge I'm going to share, so that when you are coming up in the higher standard, slowly you will have to face these things, that drawing the diagrams, labeling it. So it's good if you start the practice by now in the science subject especially. Anyways, and in the recorded classes, I try my level best to give you the video in which you will be able to watch it as if you are watching a normal YouTube video for gaining the knowledge about your subject. But I also hope at the end of the lecture, you yourself become refreshed by watching all the informations, by revising, because revising is very, very important. So I hope that you are doing that. Today we will revise this topic, chapter 11, light, sound and force, which we have revised or have discussed with the many students in the online class. So please try to understand each and every single concept in detail. And every time I record the lecture, I try my level best to keep the tone which you will be able to understand. Many of the students have asked me that, sir, we are watching your lecture not one time but 3 times, because they really enjoy that. I hope all of you are doing that. So let's get started. Before starting, I hope that you are having your rough notebook and a pencil with you. If not, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Be ready with these 2 things. If in case I'll feel like asking you to draw or write anything, you should keep your rough book and your pencil ready. So are you getting ready? Please make a haste. I mean to say, please be quick. Okay students, I suppose you should be ready by now. As you can see on the screen, textbook is right on the screen. So those who are not having the textbook, they don't have to worry about it at all. And these PDFs have been sent in the WhatsApp group long back, even many times, I should say, not even one time. So I hope that you might have taken printout, or you might be having a PDF now. Let's get started. So these objects, you see sun, lamp, bulb, candle, lantern, stars, table lamp. Yes, so these all things 99.9% of you might have seen with your eyes, isn't it so? So what is the common thing in all these things? The very common thing is they give out the light. Yes or no? Sun, lamp, bulb, candle, lantern, stars, table lamp, many more things give out the light because they have their own light. Now if you are able to see your mobile phone, your television, your paper, pencil, sofa, bed, you are able to see because the light is falling on that object and reflecting back from the surface. Suddenly, if you turn off the light of the room, will you be able to see everything? No, because the light will not be there, especially in the closed room. So you need the light to see everything. So few things like your bed, like your pencil, paper, these things don't give out the light like these all things. Do they give out? So that is the difference what we are going to learn mainly here. Now let us understand the light. What is it? Lights help us to see. The sun is the main source of heat and light on the earth. The sun, candle, diya, torch, tube light and lamp are examples of the objects that give off the light, that gives out the light to us. Fireflies that we see in the dark night also emit light of their own. Objects that give out the light are called luminous. This is what you will have to remember for the long time. This is the new term, you will have to keep it in your mind, that these objects like fireflies, torch, sun, star, lamp, lantern, these are the objects which have their own light, which gives off the light, gives out the light, so that they help us to see the objects. So the objects which gives out the light are called the luminous objects. Do remember, however, that the moon only reflects the light of the sun. We always see the face of the moon. So obviously we are able to see the side of the moon which faces towards the planet Earth. That we see during the night as shining, because that is just the reflection of the sun rays from the surface of the moon, because moon does not have its own light. You cannot see if the sun rays will not reflect on it. So moon is non-luminous object. This is what you will have to keep it in your mind. Paper, table, kite and bed are examples of objects that do not give off the light. Objects that do not give off the light are called non-luminous objects. So luminous, non-luminous, I hope these two definitions are very clear. Okay. When light falls on any object, we can see it. We see non-luminous objects only when light falls on it. Is this not right? Now, say for an example, if you are entering to the room, into the room, you will not be able to see exactly, though you know where the sofa, where the bed, where the chair, many more things are arranged in the room. Still you turn on the lights whenever you are there. So because non-luminous objects are only seen when light falls on it and it reflects back. Shadow. Have you ever noticed a dark patch on the ground when you stand outside in the sun or under a street light? The dark patch is your shadow. Sometimes it happens when you are playing outside during the night time, or when in the daytime you are walking on the road, you can see the dark patch behind you or in front of you. Why can you see that? What is that dark patch on the, what is that dark thing exactly of your shape? Not of your size. Size differs. But what is the dark thing of your shape which sticks to your leg and which remains with you wherever you go? That is the shadow. Right? Because many people say like that. When someone is your best friend, or when your brother is very much supporting you, people say, right, this brother or this your friend remains with you like a shadow. Because shadow never becomes apart, never separates. With us, it is always there. So shadows are formed when an object blocks the path of the light from the luminous object, like sun, bulb or candle. Sometimes shadows are smaller and sometimes they are bigger than the actual size. So it so happens, students, Just I want your attention towards this picture. See, here is the sun, and obviously the sunlight is going to travel like this. So when this kid is standing, this kid is stopping the sunlight because sunlight reaches to kid's back. Then it cannot penetrate the body. So here this much portion is shown dark because sunlight is not able to fall on this much part, on exactly of the part of this, or exactly of size of this kid is. See, the shadow is in the shape of the kid because light is stopped in this shape only. So that is what the shadow is. When we stop the light, shadow is formed down. This is what happens. Okay, so and it is very much clear that a shadow is always formed on the opposite side of the light. Again, I want your attention here. This is the light. Is the shadow behind it? No, it is opposite to it. Is the shadow near it? No, it is opposite to it. It will not be in the same direction, it will be in the opposite direction. I mean to say, if the rays are coming like this, obviously shadow will form on the opposite side, not on the same side. That is what I mean to say. Now here it is written that long shadow is in the morning and short is at the noon. This is what you have to remember. Because of the direction, change of the direction in the sun, because during the noon sun goes up. When it goes up, let me show it to you again. When it goes up, light travels like this. So a very short shadow is formed. Okay, I hope that you got this much part again revised. Let's move. Understanding the sound. Let us understand the sound again. When we talk, we are making a sound. Now, right now I'm giving you the lecture, I'm explaining it to you. I'm speaking something, that means I am making the sound. Our tongue helps us to make the sound. We hear sounds of all the kinds with the help of our ears. Whenever you are speaking, according to what your words, your tongue is trained. Sometimes it happens you speak incorrect word by mistake when you are speaking very fast. So you say, oh sorry, slip of tongue. So it happens. It is but natural. So this is what you need to understand. When you were a very small child, you were just making noise. That means senseless sound which has no meaning, which only irritates us. This will come further anyways. So when you grow up, slowly you start speaking one word, two word, and then sentences, and like me now you are able to communicate. So each word makes the sense. Correct? So slowly you train your tongue to move in the certain way. When you are learning A, B, C, D, your tongue is trained to speak those words and those sounds. That is why we practice different languages, and that is why it is said that practice makes one perfect. Anyways, coming back, so this is very clear that our tongue helps us to make the sound. We hear sound, all the kinds of sound, through our ears. If you strike a steel tumbler with a spoon, it makes a sound. We hear various kinds of sounds such as the ring of the telephone bell, the cry of a baby, the bark of a dog. Some sounds are soft, example whisper. Some sounds are loud, example ring of the school bell. So few sounds we like to hear, few sounds we do not. Some sounds are pleasant like music. Some sounds are unpleasant, example continuous honking of the vehicle, beep beep beep. This is the continuous honking. So this disturbance is there. When you are walking through the road, you will listen to the honking for no reason. If there is a traffic jam, then there is different matter. Then they will start just attacking with the horn. But otherwise also people have the habit of blowing the horn without any reason. Okay, so we like to hear a soft and pleasant sound. We do not like to hear loud and unpleasant sound. Yes or no? Sometimes when the baby is crying, shouting, neighbors are fighting, you don't like that sound. You like very soft sound, like for example song, prayer, then small baby laughing or playing, talking with the very small children. They have the soft voice, so you like that sound. But just imagine honking and a loud volume of television will disturb you. That is noise. Let us understand the topic of noise properly. What happens when everybody in your class starts talking as loudly at the same time? What will happen? You will say, Rohan sir will shout. But before that, what will happen? Why will I shout? Because students will make the noise. When you all students together start talking or speaking, neither am I going to understand what have you spoken, nor will I be able to listen to anyone properly. So that is why always teachers say that speak one by one properly so that we can answer each and everyone properly. So noise is this, the best example is your class only. That even in the online classes it happens when you are wearing the earphone, you feel like to remove the earphone and throw it away because many are speaking together. If no one is speaking, then no one is speaking. But if one starts speaking, all of them are speaking together. They don't wait for the turn. So what happens? Noise is created. Noise means the sound which we do not like to listen to. Whether for the short time or long time, it's different matter. Right? Sound that is loud and unpleasant is called a noise. This is very clear. Too much noise disturbs us and is bad for our health as well. Yes, when you are wearing earphones and when you are playing the games and loud music really damages your ears. Even honking sound, it develops the deafness inside you. So too much noise disturbs us and is bad for the health. This is why we should learn to speak softly. Teachers ask you to discuss few things with your friends. The moment teachers allow you, you start speaking very loudly from one end of the row to another end of the class. That's bad. That's really very bad. When you talk softly, no one is going to disturb you because you are disturbing no one. It's tit for tat kind of. So we should always play the television and music system at the low volume, so that we do not disturb other members of our family or our neighbors. See, just now I said neighbors, right? Sometimes it happens that we are disturbing them by playing the loud music or television. So we should keep it under control. Let us understand the topic force. In everyday life, we push or pull the things to move them. A push or pull is called force. What is that? Let me show you the very live example of your class only. See, this is a drawer of your school. Correct? So this is called pulling out. This is called pushing inside. When you open it, you pull it outside. When you close it, you push it inside. So this push and pull applied is called force. Not only that, but another live example of your class is that gate. When you want to open it, you will pull it. Or if you want to close it, you will push it inside. So that is a live example of push or pull used in day-to-day life. So when you apply any of these, push or pull, it is called force. You are applying force. Without that you cannot open the drawer nor can you close it. Isn't it so? Yes, at your home also drawer might be there, cupboard, many other places where you will have to push or pull the gate, correct, window, and many more places. So that is called force. Force helps us to do many things. Yes, obviously it helps us to do many things. Friction is one of the topics of force. Let us understand it. Friction is a special force that slows down the movement. Do you want to see one more example, students? The same example I want to show it to you. If you see this drawer again, I am able to pull it but very hardly, because here between the drawer and the frame friction is there. Friction is there here, so I have to apply the force and I am not able to do it very fast. It is very slow. Because of the friction, the speed becomes slow. This is what the role of friction is. So when you push or pull an object to move it, the force of the push or the pull should be greater than the force of the friction. Yes, sometimes the friction is so much you are not able to open the drawer. You have to really pull it very hard. So your push or pull should be greater than the friction. When friction is very less, things slide. When it is more, things do not move at all. Yes, again this happens. You are not able to open the water bottle sometimes, yeah, because of the air. But sometimes it happens, you are not able to move the things because of the friction. Or sometimes it happens when you keep your leg on a banana peel or somewhere, you slip down, because then there is no friction. We would not be able to walk. We would keep slipping off without the friction. Yes, now when you are walking on the roads, on anywhere, this is only possible because of the friction between the floor and your legs. Otherwise you will keep slipping down everywhere. This is the truth. I hope that you have revised these topics. Now it's time to revise the keywords. Please repeat the keywords with me. Luminous object. An object that gives out light is called a luminous object. Non-luminous object. An object that does not give out the light is called non-luminous object. I hope students you are repeating after me. Force. A push or a pull is called a force. Shadow. The dark patch formed when an object blocks the path of light is called a shadow. Next, noise. Loud and unpleasant sound is called noise. Friction. The force that slows down the movement is called friction. Okay students, now I suppose you should write this one time. I will wait for a minute. Please write all this. I will discuss till then. Luminous objects, like we discussed. I hope that you have started writing, by the way. See, your water bottle, is that luminous? No, definitely not, because it does not give out the light. See, your tube light, is it luminous? Yes, it certainly is, because it gives out the light when you switch on. See the sun, is that luminous or non-luminous? Obviously, sun is the biggest luminous object in our galaxy. So, non-luminous and luminous, I hope, is clear to you. Force. Now, you force someone to do something. No, that's different force. Here the force means a push or a pull. Right? Just now I showed you the live example of force in the class. Shadow. Now when you will go out in the sunlight, you can find your shadow on the floor somewhere or under the light. Noise, you know, that continuous honking or something like that really makes us feel that we should close our doors and window. So these all are called noise, which we don't like to listen to. Friction, you know that if there is no friction, we will slip down. We are able to walk because of friction. When we apply the brake in the bicycle or in the bike, it has the friction between that brake and the tire. That's why it slows down the speed of the tire of the cycle eventually. So I hope that you enjoyed today's lecture of revising chapter 11. With this, I end my today's discussion on the light, sound and force. We perhaps will solve the exercise of this chapter later in the next topic. You will have to be ready with your rough books. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Take care.